What do you think? Has the NFL given up on Baker?
Well, they seem to have given up on him as of right now. The good thing that's in Baker's favor, Skip, they're not playing football currently. So he still has, June, July, August, heal up, and we'll see what happens then. I think the biggest thing from everything that I've been reading, Skip, it all is coming down to, we don't want $19 million in our cap. Now, $19 million for a quarterback that's any good, like you tell me Baker Mayfield is, that's chicken feed, that's peanuts. Considering the going rate is somewhere between $40 and $50 million. And somebody's willing to give you a quarterback, a quality quarterback, a franchise quarterback for $19 million. And everybody says no. The Carolina Panthers ended up bringing in Matt Corral. Everybody else is either drafted a quarterback or traded for quarterbacks, and your guy's on the outside of the fence looking in. And considering he's the #1 overall draft pick just 4 years ago, gee, how the mighty have fallen. Now, one of two things either is going on here. Either everybody in the NBA are fools, or Skip Bayless is foolish for believing that Baker Mayfield is anything above average.
That is true. It's one or the other. Yep, I agree with that.
Somebody.
And it's obviously the latter is correct, right?
Because right now, hold on.
Yeah.
As of right now, it's not looking good for the home team. You're the home team. You and Baker are the home, and the visitors are winning. Look, it's just the Browns, whoever said it. Skip, Jimmy Haslam said he didn't say it. Obviously, his wife is not saying she said it. We don't know who said it. But someone said they want an adult leading their football team. They wanted someone with more maturity leading their football team.
I'm going to assume it came from the head coach, but I don't know that.
There you go. Stop putting that out there.
I don't know that for a fact, but that would be my best educated guess.
Oh, my goodness. Now you've tried to put stuff on people that we don't know where that's coming from. But this is what's concerning to me. In this article, they asked an anonymous player, and they said, did you see the video that Odell dad put out that was 12 minutes long? And the player said, no, why would I need to see it? I saw it every day in practice. Wow.
That's it.
Just wow. Skip, hold on. You see how people coming out talking about Amari Cooper? That's a big piece to replace. That was a really good guy. Where are the players coming out on Baker's behalf and saying he's a great leader? He's a tremendous player. That's a big piece we got to replace, like they've done for Amari Cooper, like they've done for Devontae Adams, like they've done for other players, yet but they can't do that. Why can't they? They did it in Dallas. They're still in Dallas, and they're still talking about how good Amari was, and he's going to be a big piece of the puzzle to replace. Not one time have we heard anybody say anything in a positive light other than you. Think about that, Skip Bayless. Everybody that has an opinion, only you have said something positive about Baker Mayfield. You don't think that's odd? I do. I mean, you can find something good to say about anybody, Skip. I don't care how bad the person was. If you really look hard enough, he helped the old lady cross the street once upon a time. But they ain't said anything positive about Baker. What really going on? You in a heap of trouble, Skip. Your guy better land on his feet, and he better land on a team, and he better play extremely well, or else he's going to be in that category. Jeff George and Jamarcus Russell. You don't want to be on a list with those two guys. #1 overall picks that did not finish out their rookie contracts with that team.
Are you finished? Because I'm about to unleash on all of the above.
Go ahead, unleash.
First of all, me over here on my island, all alone.
You definitely on an island by yourself. You absolutely correct.
I tried to warn you about Sam Darnold, and I was right. I tried to warn you about Carson Wentz, and I was proven right. Over here on my island, I was proven right. I tried to warn you from the start when he was at Alabama about Tua, and you have come over to my side, and you now agree he can't measure up as an NFL starter. He's just too small and doesn't have enough arm and too injury prone, right? You even came across the table over here onto the island concerning Aaron Rodgers. We're about to discuss him a little bit later in this show, but I tried to warn you about Aaron Rodgers all along, and finally you came over to my side. Over here on the island, all alone on the island, I just gave you 4 cases where I showed you.
No, hold on, Skip.
I told you and I showed you.
No. I did not know. Aaron Rodgers has nothing to do with his play. It has more to do with the person.
The off-field starts to affect the on-field because he has been a disaster in
I can't tell he
games.
back-to-back MVPs. Damn.
In postseason games. You have agreed with me.
Oh, yeah, he's coming small.
Back-to-back. He was back-to-back number one seed in the NFC with home playoff games that he stunk up in the fourth quarter twice.
He did do that.
And lost. And he's on the thinnest of ice, and we're going to talk about him, and I can't wait for that. I'm here to tell you, I am completely dug in. I feel 1,000,000% confident in saying that Baker Mayfield, at some point soon, maybe not that soon because it's going to take the whole league to come to its senses. Maybe it's just going to take flat-out desperation on some team's part because of an injury or some sort of off-field blow-up.
Right.
Baker Mayfield will become the biggest steal in NFL history, given how they're going to be able to get him for virtually nothing. I have told you before, we're going to debate this harder later in the show, but Baker Mayfield has now turned into the most undervalued asset on the open market in the history of this league, given what he has proven in this league already.
Clearly it's not enough.
Okay? That's their fault. It's not my fault. It's a collective stupidity. Collective stupidity on the part of this league. Somehow this league practices what I call sheepthink. There are a bunch of sheep, and once one team says, no, I don't know about Baker Mayfield, then another one says, if they don't like him, maybe I shouldn't like him. And if they don't like him, then we shouldn't like him over here. And now nobody likes him. And it's so late in the musical chairs game that there are no chairs really left open except for Pete Carroll's chair, right?
Can I ask you a question? What about if they're watching the same tape and all of them come to the same conclusion?
I'm about to get to that. I'm glad you brought that up. Now, let me address Pete Carroll's comments. They're a little, as usual, wishy-washy. And I got to tell you, Pete Carroll's starting to have a little Jerry Jones in him because I can't figure out what he's talking about.
He definitely likes to hear himself talk now.
Well, he talks, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. Are you are you trying to backtrack on this? Or I don't know, because it goes back and forth. It's possible they're still trying to negotiate with Cleveland.
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes.
But it did come across as fairly conclusive that he said, I don't see us making a trade for anybody at all. And then he'd say, but we're still looking, we're always open, we're still competing, so whatever, we're trying to make our team better. If a case presents itself, we're going to be ready for it. Well, then I don't know. Are you wishy-washing out of that?
Let's get what look, it seems to me, they want the Browns want someone to take $19 million off their cap. The teams are saying, we don't want $19 million on our cap. Not for Baker Mayfield. We might be willing to take $4 or $5 million. Skip it like baseball. You know how baseball, you pick up a contract and then you got to pay the guy, you got to pay the guy 80% of his guy's salary. Well, if somebody's going to be willing to, if the Browns are willing to pick up 80-90% of Baker's salary, Skip, I believe a team will trade a 5th or 6th round pick. But given that I'm going to have to give, even if it's a 5th or 6th round pick, and I've got to give up $19 million, Skip, I'm not doing that for Baker Mayfield. The teams it's not me, I don't have no team, but the teams are saying, I'm not giving you $19 million and draft compensation for Baker Mayfield.
Okay, so I'm going to declare myself once more, qualify myself here. This is not an Oklahoma thing for me. I'm a huge Oklahoma fan, born and raised. I can't help it. I was born into the tradition.
Understatement is huge.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was born into the tradition, but see Trae Young, who played basketball at the University of Oklahoma, or see Sam Bradford, who played football. I'm an objective Sooners fan, and when I don't like somebody, I don't like somebody, and I've driven that point home to you. I do believe in Baker Mayfield, and he backed me up by playing up to the level I thought he could play up to in the National Football League. Let me count the ways. As a raw rookie, he got thrown into the fire in game number 3 by Hugh Jackson, and he proceeded to have what Pro Football Focus ranked the 3rd best rookie season in the last 15, because that's all they've been in business and graded and ranked.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3rd best in the last 15. That's something. That's pretty great, because they also graded his big-time throws at 40 for the year. 40 big-time throws. That ranked 3rd in the whole National Football League. That's got to count for something. He won 7 games for a team as a raw rookie that the previous year had gone 0-16. Trust me, that's got to count for something. Okay, here came Odell Beckham Jr., their best buds off the field. They vacation together. They play video games together. And for whatever reason, it did not click. I think it's because Odell was a beat-up shell of himself by the time he got to Cleveland, and he didn't really want to be in Cleveland. But the locker room did love Odell because everybody loves Odell. And he plays to it because just as he did with the Giants, he came to the Browns, and at lunchtime, he would circulate through the lunchroom and eat at a different table every day so he could bond with every teammate on the roster.
Okay, what's wrong with that? People, that's what you do.
That's what Tom Brady has always done. Kudos to you. Then I've told you before, Odell is a really shrewd operator because he plays the wide-eyed sort of ingenue 20-something receiver and plays up to all the great receivers, starting with Chris Carter and then you, Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famers, as in, I want to sit at your knee and soak up your wisdom. Well, it is, and it wins him big brownie points with people who have big opinions on television. So that was a big score for him. I have a really good source who's very plugged into the Browns who tells me there's a segment of the locker room that still loves Baker Mayfield, but they can't speak out because the team plunged for Deshaun. So they can't say, we want Baker. They've got Deshaun for $230 guaranteed million. And you can't argue with that. I didn't argue with that.
I'm not saying you got to say, man, I can't believe they did Baker like this here, but you can say, man, Baker is a leader. Baker's a good football player. He's going to land on his feet, and someone's going to get a very good quarterback. You can say that without
afraid to say that. Well, I do. I think it's like it would look like you're against the grain on your own franchise.
No.
Yes,
Skip, this is what you did. You take, he had 40 big-time throws. You're that parent that kid gets an A. It's like, I knew you could do it, but he got C's on the rest of his report card, which means he's average.
C's on what rest of the report card?
On the rest of his career in Cleveland.
Okay.
He's been average.
No, he has not been average. So
here
we go. So he has a struggle year with Odell because Odell was really struggling.
Okay.
And then here we go. In 2020, Odell, unfortunately, goes down and out. I'm knocking on wood for his recovery from a second ACL operation. And what does Baker do? You want to just disqualify this and sweep it under your little carpet over there that you keep for all the things you need to protect yourself from.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, Baker Mayfield goes on a tear, and it wasn't a 2-game tear or a 5-game tear. It was an 11-game tear
11 games.
of 20 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. And over that span, he was graded the 4th best quarterback in the whole National Football League. And it was just behind Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson and the GOAT, Tom Brady. He was 4th best over 11 games. He culminated that stretch by going to Pittsburgh and winning Cleveland's first playoff game in 26 years with a QBR of 91 on a scale of 0 to 100, with 3 touchdowns to no interceptions at Pittsburgh against your arch rival in a big playoff win in your first playoff game you've ever played in the National Football League. You can't take that away. You can't disqualify it. And then what does he do? He picks right up where he left off. In the first 2 games of this past season, when he was healthy, at Kansas City, he leads them to bam, 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 3 straight opening touchdown drives to start that game against the Chiefs.
Okay.
And in those first 2 games, Baker Mayfield completed 82% of his passes, which was by far and away leading the National Football League. 82%. Then I have to sit and hear you spew all that venom at him about all these negative statistics. In game number 2, near the end, he wrecked his shoulder. He not only fractured it, but he tore his labrum, which would require surgery as soon as the season ended. He should have shut it down right there. You have agreed to that. In fact, you were the one who opened my eyes to that. Just shut it down. They don't love you, so why should you love them? Why should you die for their cause? But he died, and he kept trying and fighting and trying to win back segments of the locker room, which leads to what happened just before the trade deadline. The father of Odell, Beckham Sr., he posts the video. These are all the bad throws to Baker. But I got a whole bunch of throws that Odell dropped, and I've shown you those.
Yes,
right?
and that's why his dad did it, because you were showing the bad throw, but you ain't showing nothing bad about Baker.
Okay, so that happens. But then what happens soon after that? They cut Odell Beckham Jr. They flat out cut him on November the 5th.
Yes.
They had to know, because they were seeing the handwriting. Baker's really struggling. Maybe we should go in another direction. Show in Cleveland. You can't trust anything they do. So the Cleveland, not Browns, the Cleveland cut Odell in part because there's some machination at work here. There's some ulterior motive because they knew exactly what was about to happen. If they flat out cut Odell, guess who would pay the price for that? The quarterback.
Why would he pay the price?
At least half the locker room would then turn on Baker and say, it's your fault he got cut. Why would you cut him? Why cut Odell then? Why let him go on the open market? They actually gave him a bouquet, a parting gift, and said, go choose whatever team you want to play for. I'm thinking hard about it. I slept on it all night long.
Okay. You said Baker had his best season when Odell was cut. When he was injured. He tore his ACL.
Yep.
That was Baker's. He had an 11-game stretch. So why wouldn't you give a damn if they cut Odell Beckham Jr.?
I'm just
Baker
saying,
should have his best season.
Psychologically, it wrecked the rest of the season for Baker because then they knew that the whole locker room was going to turn and say, how dare you get this man cut? It's your fault. That's what Shannon Sharpe said. It's his fault.
So now...
It was beautiful. What if they'd kept Odell? Would this be anywhere near this harsh of an overreaction against Baker Mayfield? No.
What I don't understand, Skip, is that you said Baker had his best statistical season when Odell hurt his knee. Odell gets removed. Now you're saying Cleveland sabotaged Baker because they took Odell away, and now the locker room is upset. No, at some point in time, you and Baker got to face it. Skip, there's a 60-game sample size. You only want to use the 11-game sample size.
I love the rookie year. Again, third best in the last 15.
Okay. So he played, I think he started 13 games. He won 7. He lost 6. Okay, then the next year, what did he do?
That was the Odell
special.
Odell.
Yep. Okay, then he gets hurt. Odell gets hurt and he took off. Yep. And then what happened with Baker?
Okay, well, the first 2 games, he wasn't just good. He was sensational.
Skip, they had a 29-10 lead. They had a 20-point lead on Kansas City.
He can't play defense.
Oh, now he can't play. Now you blame the defense. You see what you just did? Now everybody else that has a quarterback, you got to win that game. You're on the road. You got Patrick Mahomes dead to right. Now you blame the defense. It's always someone else's fault other than Baker's.
He's playing the favorite to win the Super Bowl in their building to start the season.
Okay, let me ask you a question. If you got a 29-10 or you got a double-digit lead, how can they come back? There are no double-digit scores in NFL. You can't score 10 points on one drive. You can't score 14. So even when Kansas City scored, they kicked the ball back off to Cleveland. What did Cleveland do?
Well, all I know is he completed 82% of his passes in the first 2 games. That is extraordinary.
What did he do? The last time he had the ball, what did he do? He threw it right to the guy from Kansas City. But see, what you won't tell the people at home and what Pro Football Focus won't tell you, that he's always had a top 3 running game. He's always had a top offensive line. And when the defense can't play lights-out football, he's the guy that can't win you a game. He'll manage it. But he can't go win it for you. You won't mention that Chubb and Kareem Hunt ran the air out of the football the last 11 games. And so what they're basically telling you, we want somebody when ideals are less than perfect, like California weather. It's 75, 85, damn near all the time. When things are not perfect, Baker Mayfield can't get it done. Simple as that.
So it was as simple as this, according to my friend Jake Trotter's story and ESPN.com as of yesterday. It was as simple as it got to that fateful year-end Monday night game at Pittsburgh, back at the scene of his greatest triumph, and Baker started to feel like he was being sabotaged by Stefanski because they had a rookie tackle in the game named James Hudson trying to block T.J. Watt, and it was single block, single block, single block with no help. And Baker took issue with it after the game because he got sacked 9 times.
It ain't his fault. Hold on. So let me get this right. Stefanski wins Coach of the Year. Baker Mayfield had this historic season the year before. I don't hear nothing about sabotage. I don't hear anything about anything. Now he plays like some stir-fry you-know-what. Now they sabotaging him. Tell Baker Mayfield
team him out.
Tell Baker Mayfield team to stop releasing this information. This is terrible. This is everybody know what this is. This is a hatchet job. And you ought to be ashamed for repeating that, Skip Bayless. Stefanski won Coach of the Year.
Thanks to Baker Mayfield, he did.
Okay, so now, okay, thanks to Baker Mayfield.
By the end of the year, they had turned on him because that is a snake pit. It is a snake pit. I am so relieved.
Well, that's the biggest viper right now.
I'm so relieved. No, yeah, he's the biggest viper. He's the head of the snake is what he is, head of snake. He's the only reason they have anything to show for the last 4 years is that young man right there.
They don't hang. They don't hang banners for one playoff win.
Way to go! Congratulations. Yes. So he's going to hit the market at some point because somebody is going to get desperate enough to say, "Yeah, I'll take a shot." And the one good thing, the one very positive to all this is, Baker's progressive commercials are going to dry up now. You watch and wait and book it on this.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
no way Progressive's going to go forward with him because now he's become a shadowy figure. He's becoming a villain.
But why would I do a commercial with Baker when he's on another team? I mean, it worked because.
But I'm just saying, even as he's still a Brown, they're going to dry up. Trust me, he's out of the plans now.
Well, I just want y'all to know,
he's become a very controversial figure, and that's a good thing.
Aren't there lemon laws in all 50 states? Because if you get that, that's a lemon.
Okay.
As
I need to get you on record.
As is.
I need you to say Baker Mayfield is a bust so we can get it on tape.
Baker Mayfield is in the same category as Jeff George and Jamarcus Russell.
So he's a bust.
He's about to be one of the three quarterbacks.
On tape, I need the Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe to declare Baker Mayfield is a #1 overall pick, B-U-S-T, bust. I need to hear you say it so I can bring it back.
He's a bigger bust than Sam Darnold.
So you're admitting Sam Darnold is a bust. Sam Darnold is an unqualified, absolute done bust.
Somebody wanted Sam Darnold. Somebody traded for Sam Darnold.
The other.
Everybody. So this is what I'm starting to see, and everybody's starting to see this also. So anybody that trades for a guy that you like, anybody that doesn't trade for the guy that you like, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Remember what I said.
Yeah.
And remember what you're about to be up against. At some point fairly soon, you're going to be made to look very foolish, and it's okay.
He's a guy.
I'll go easy on you.
Nothing special.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Is he a bust?
Nothing special.
See, Shannon Sharpe doesn't have guts to go bust because he knows what's coming.
He's average.
So much energy to start this Friday. We got to leave this one here, though.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.